All right, let's jump right into it. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're breaking down what was easily one of the most electric, completely unexpected playoff performances of the postseason. Picture the scene. The Cavaliers and the Raptors are locked in an absolute dogfight, tied up at 2 games apiece. The tension in that arena is so thick you could practically cut it with a knife. Today, we're going to dissect exactly how the Cavaliers flipped the script, stole Game 5, and found a seriously unlikely hero along the way.
Now, to really grasp the weight of this victory, we have to look back at a little bit of history. Take a look at this single number, 2018. It might just look like a year, but for Cleveland fans, it's a massive mental hurdle. Going into this matchup, the Cavaliers had not won a playoff game after trailing at the start of the fourth quarter since 2018. Think about that. If they were down going into that final frame, it was practically a guaranteed loss. That was the ghost haunting this franchise.
So let's look at how this all started. Part 1. The crisis, a rocky start in Game 5.
Just imagine the pressure cooker environment of that home arena. The Raptors were coming out, dictating the pace, and the Cavs, well, they were stumbling. Which brings us to this pretty bleak halftime reality, 74-67. Down by 7, but honestly, it felt like way more than that. The home crowd was restless, practically holding their breath, terrified that this series was just slipping away.
And this stat right here perfectly illustrates the massive hole they dug for themselves. 23 first-half points allowed strictly off turnovers. 23. You just cannot win playoff basketball gifting free points like that. It's a recipe for disaster. But then there's this total shift. Look at the second half. Cleveland committed just 5 total turnovers. And in the fourth quarter, just 1. From pure chaos to absolute control. So you have to ask, what exactly happened in that locker room?
Which brings us to our next chapter, the turning point of veterans' intervention.
While fans outside were starting to panic, inside the locker room, an unheralded 32-year-old veteran decided enough was enough. Dennis Schroder, who they quietly acquired at the trade deadline, stood up in front of everyone. He later said, "I felt like I had to say something to the group so we can rise and go play Cavs basketball and play to our standards." He actually demanded that they start playing through their big men, Evan Mobley and Jared Allen, and bring the aggression. It was just pure, incredible veteran leadership.
And man, did it work. Cavs coach Kenny Atkinson perfectly summarized Schroder's impact on the game, saying he was, as we like to call him, Dennis the Menace tonight. It's just great. You gotta love a head coach calling his 32-year-old floor general Dennis the Menace. But it completely fits how he went out there and completely disrupted Toronto's game plan.
All right, now for the fun part. The climax. Dennis the Menace takes over. Heading into the fourth quarter, the Cavs are trailing 103-100. The ghosts of 2018 are literally right there in the building. But consider this stark contrast. Look at these stats. In games 1 through 4, Schroder was averaging barely 11 minutes a game. I mean, he sat out the entire second half of Game 3. But in the fourth quarter of Game 5, he plays all 12 minutes. When the lights were absolutely the brightest, his production just exploded.
Let's break down that dominance really quick. He plays the entire fourth quarter without a breather. He drops 11 of his 19 total points right there in the final frame. He shoots a blistering 5 of 8 from the field, relentlessly attacking the rim. Schroder essentially becomes the engine behind a decisive 25-17 fourth quarter run, snatching a 125-120 victory right out of Toronto's hands.
But the story doesn't end with just the stats. Here is the real secret sauce, the power of the collective. Egos aside.
What makes this comeback truly special is the selflessness of this roster. In the modern NBA, stars rarely, if ever, step back when the game is on the line. But right in the middle of this massive fourth quarter run, Coach Atkinson actually tried to substitute his franchise cornerstones, Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley, back onto the floor. And incredibly, Mitchell and Mobley literally said no. They waved him off, they preferred to stay on the bench and just let Schroder keep cooking.
Donovan Mitchell explained it beautifully afterward. He said, "It isn't about one person or 2 people. We know who we are, and we know what Dennis is bringing. You ride the hot hand." That kind of profound respect, that total lack of ego, that is the absolute bedrock of a championship caliber team.
And that feeling definitely echoed across the entire room. When fellow trade deadline pickup James Harden was asked how the Cavs magically stopped turning the ball over in the second half, he gave the simplest, best answer possible. Give Dennis the ball. I mean, it's funny, but it's totally true. Trusting their veteran completely changed the geometry of the entire game.
So, what does this all mean for this series? Momentum shift, finding championship DNA.
By pulling off this crazy comeback, the Cavaliers now hold a pivotal 3-2 series lead heading back to Toronto. But honestly, more importantly, they might have finally unlocked their mental toughness. Coach Atkinson recognized the gravity of it immediately. He told the press, "You could feel the crowd getting nervous. I think we took a step tonight." And he's right. They didn't fold under the weight of their own history. They looked adversity right in the face, and they survived.
Which leaves us with this massive, looming question. With the momentum totally shifted and Game 6 waiting for them up in Toronto, have the Cavaliers finally found the true resilience they need for a deep, lasting playoff run? They proved they can weather the storm at home, but can they do it on the road when their backs are against the wall? Wow, I literally cannot wait to find out. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and we will definitely see you next time.